And we're live.
Cool. What's up, guys? Shawn Bowen, Full Circle Investment Group, Wholesaling Out of the Box.com. We're here today, and we're going to talk with Cameron Peters. He is an acquisitions guy for us and dispositions now for Full Circle Investment Group. He's going to give you a little rundown on his story and how he kind of got into the business and kind of where he's progressed to and how he's gone through it. And we're just going to go through that line for line and figure out like what's up with Cam and how Cam got in the business. And we'll go from there. What's up, Cam? How you doing, man?
Good morning. How are you? I'm doing good, man.
Awesome. So tell us a little about yourself real quick, just quick little, we're going to go over some items that we have question-wise, but tell us a quick little, story about Cam and how he got into real estate.
Sure. So I was born in Illinois, raised in Illinois, Minnesota. Had a good upbringing and joined the Air Force. Served 22 years in the Air Force. Met my wife along that journey in the Air Force. Had two beautiful daughters. And now just retired from the Air Force here in Virginia. And I really got the bug for real estate as we came back here to Virginia. So just within the past few years.
Cool. Okay. So military, got the bug for real estate, met your wife, have two kids. So, I mean, it's a busy world over there, right? They're not talking like simple, easy breezy days. Like there's a lot going on in that world, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
All right. So let's, we'll talk about like how you got started in real estate. How did that happen? So
I guess I would start, I like to bring this up because some of the old hats remember this, right? Carlton Sheets, right? And I know you're going to smile and, so when I was like 18, 19, whatever it was, those late night infomercials, when I was still just graduated high school up to no good at 3 a.m. and, laying on the couch and I saw these infomercials and this dude, buy with no money, order the package, and I was intrigued, right? But then I got to the money at the end and I was like, dude, I don't have any kind of money. You know what I'm saying? And I had already took steps towards the military, but I was like, man, that sounds awesome. But let's get back to the real world, right? That can't be real, right? So fast forward down the road to move back to Virginia, still active duty military, right? And a buddy of mine who I served in the military with is down in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and do very well for himself. And he was in corporate world for a while. And then next thing I know, he's got all these videos. He's created a presence for himself online, right? He's flipping houses. He's got doors. He's got rentals. I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, Jason, what are you doing, dude? Like, talk to me. So, we had a great history. And he told me what he was doing. He explained to me, of course, flipping, but he explained to me wholesaling. And I was like, he's like, you get it? After you walk through the steps, you follow me? And I'm like, nope. And he's like, okay, let me explain it again. So we were on the phone for a couple hours that first day, right? And he dedicated his time and he put it into me. And I was like, okay, so this sounds awesome. Like, I don't know what to do. He's like, you need to go to a local RIA, right? That's what you need to do. I mean, I can help you from Dallas-Fort Worth, but you need to get ingrained in that community. He's like, that community, military, industry. He's like, it's got to be happening. He's like, I don't know shit about it, but it's got to be happening. So go check it out. Take a step, come back. All right, Cam, later. You know what I mean? He got off the phone. So he did, what a lot of us do where, all right, take a step forward. Let's see if you come back, right? So that's how that started. I went to Trig and talked to a few people. I don't believe I talked to Shawn on the first night at Trig. I think I kind of just, took in the room, saw what was happening, a little intimidated because people are talking about they got deals, they're flipping a house, they're making this money. And a lot of the words that were in there, I didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? The terms that go with the business. So I got ingrained and I ended up taking a local kind of weekend meetup group that I paid for, right? Not one of these $40,000, $50,000 groups, but a local meetup. And they promised to teach me the basics of wholesaling, the basics of flipping and knowing my numbers. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll invest some money in that. So that's how that got started. And I just kept rolling from there. So
cool. Okay. So basically what a lot of guys do, you did the same thing, right? Talk to somebody was in it, somebody was doing it and knew about it and was being successful. And then you took that information and then he said, go do something local. You actually did it. And then that started like progressing you into the Okay, I'm more interested. I'm getting more information. This is sounding real, right? Okay. What made you decide to do wholesaling specifically versus there's a lot of shiny objects out there, right? People talk about a lot of different things. There's the
Yeah.
wholesaling, the rehabbing, the buy and hold, the subject to, like all the creative financing. So what drew you specifically to wholesaling?
So that goes back to that weekend seminar where I learned a little bit about wholesaling. So now I understood the basics, and it was kind of a refresher of what Jason had told me on the phone. Right. So I called him back up and I was like, all right, dude, here's what I did. And he was just thrilled. You know what I'm saying? He was getting all the goo. He's like, hell yeah, you did something. You know what I'm saying? So he's like, all right, so what'd they tell you? I was like, well, they told me to market. They told me direct mail. I mean, there's some money cost in there, but I think I could figure that out. He's like, well, Cam, let's talk about it. Be open. How much money you got to throw at this? I'm like, okay, here's a number. He's like, okay, you can do it, right? You need some systems, you need some marketing. So I started sending out mail. I started randomly tracking it. I wasn't so good at the tracking in the beginning, right? But I went on multiple appointments, and I'm going to fast forward to the first contract I got, right? I planned to flip that. I had a partner at the time. We planned to flip it 100%. And we couldn't line up the contractors. We just couldn't. And it was such a nightmare. I lost sleep over this thing. So I was going to flip it, man, because the numbers looked good. I had a local guy from Trig, a well-known guy in Trig. Alan came and he checked out the deal, and he's like, Cam, this is a good deal. It's a good deal. I'm so happy for you, right? So it all makes sense, but I couldn't line up contractors. So what's your out? What's your second out? I'm going to wholesale the deal, right? So I wouldn't say wholesaling was 100% accident. I kind of understood what I was doing, but it was not plan A. It was plan B for that first deal. So that's how it started.
Okay, so it was meant to be a rehab, and then it turned into a wholesale situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I didn't even know that. That's pretty
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
All right. How did you get involved with wholesaling out of the box? How did that come about?
Oh yeah, sure. So back during that time, right, when I went to that weekend thing, I was thinking it was a little bit after that. I had talked to you, Shawn, a few times, right? And you'd share plenty of information, and we hopped on a phone call, and you're like, what are you looking to do? You know what I mean? What are you currently doing? Let me understand where you're coming from. And so we had that talk, and you're like, hey, well, we're starting up this group. Look, we meet every 2 weeks, come check us out. Okay, cool. So I did come check you out. And at that time, I think all the systems and all the tracking, and it was over my head. And I was like, I don't know what, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. Right. So let's fast forward 18 months. Right. So now I've done a few deals, but I was sporadically tracking things. Right.
Yeah.
And I had another conversation with you, and you're like, Cam, where's your money best spent? How do you know between these? Here, let's see your campaigns, right? We opened up my Podio, and we looked at them, and you're like, okay, I mean, I see what you're doing. Where's your money best spent? And I'm like, where's your money going? I'm like, I don't know. I can show you the business checking account. I can show you what's coming in, going out. You know what I mean? But it wasn't targeted. You're like, why did you choose these campaigns? Why did you select this group of motivated sellers? I don't know. I heard it on a podcast. I heard it. You know what I mean? It was buzzword stuff. So we had that conversation, and you're like, Cam, just, let's see, come on board 90 days. Let's run side by side, right? Come in the group, see if, some accountability in the group, some tracking your numbers. Let's look at your KPIs. Let's focus your business. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's what I needed at that point. So that's when I fully came on board with WOB. And that was last summer, I think. Yeah. Summer 2019. Yep.
Cool. Okay. What's the best piece of advice where you were ever given, like from anything real estate based? What was the best piece of advice you were ever given about real estate or doing this business?
So the best piece of advice I was ever given, I'm going to go way back in the Air Force days and then relate it to real estate, right? Was there's never a perfect time to start. And this was about college, right? Back in the day, military days, college. There's never a perfect time to start, right? You're gonna be working long hours, right? You're gonna be having a new baby in the house. You're gonna be, having a new dog. You're gonna have whatever. There's always something coming up, right? There's never a perfect time to be like, yep, now it's time to start. So just start, right? Yeah. So I've carried that advice with me for decades. And so when it came to real estate, what resonated with me and honestly, I don't remember where it came from at Trig, but somebody said there's never a perfect deal.
Okay.
There's always something, right? There's always something that you either have to figure out, you have to overcome, you have to work out with the seller. It's never like you walk into a house and it's like, oh, well, here's my mayo, it's 120. And they're like, oh, well, great, I only want 100. Oh, cool. You know what I mean? And then your end buyer, you're driving away and your end buyer like high fives you and it's like, hey man, I'll buy that deal for 150. You know what I mean? It just doesn't happen. So
Right.
That's really simple advice. Just there's never a perfect time. Like you just got to take a step forward,
Cool.
I could ramble about this for a while, as you might tell, but
Oh no, that's a good one. I like it.
advice from a long time ago, it keeps going and keeps going.
Right. So it's never going to be a perfect time. Just
No.
take action and then break it, fix it, and keep moving forward.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. Okay. What is the best business book you've ever read that you would like to recommend to guys that are either new to the business, existing in the business? What's a good book to recommend?
So I do read a business book from time to time, but more read mindset books. So I have two, and one is the mindset book is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which is by Mark Manson. And I don't know if anybody's read that out there, but that's a total mindset book in that you can't make everybody happy, right? And it's totally about life, but the way I relate it to real estate is you just can't, you tell people about what you're doing in real estate, your friends, your family, your support network, right? And they don't understand. They usually don't, you can try to explain it. They're not going to get it. They're like, why are you doing this? Why are you going to these meetings?
Yep.
Why are you're spending money on mail? You're doing this. You can't make everybody happy. At the end of the day, if you're comfortable where you're at, right, you only have so much energy to devote to so many things. And so devote your energy where you want to spend it. So that was a huge one for me. I actually I have my teenager read that book because I think there's huge life lessons in there anyways.
Nice.
And then of course, the second one is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. It's pure negotiations. And we all know that if you can't talk to a seller, you can't relate. There's no point. There's no point to send marketing. There's no point to track anything.
Yep.
You're not going to get past anything. So that book is invaluable. I still go back and reference it. It's over here on my desk. So
nice.
Yep.
So Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss and The Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yep.
And what was the author's name?
Mark Manson is on The Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and then Chris Voss is Never Split the Difference. Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. All right. What was your biggest setback since you've been in the industry? What was the biggest holy shit moment?
So I would go back to that first flip that ended up being a wholesale deal. Cause man, we tried. We had 45 days on that contract and we grinded for 30 days to try to line up the contractors, try to get the funding. I mean, I had extensive conversations with hard money lenders, local hard money lenders that we still know and talk to, right? Yeah. And they were so helpful, but they were like, Cam, you don't have all your ducks in a row and you can't get them. And like I said, I lost sleep over that deal just because I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? Mostly, it had nothing to do with me, honestly. Mostly, it was because I had committed to those sellers who had now moved out of state, cleared out their house, and they were dependent on that contract, right? That sale price. Yep. I looked them in the eye and I said, I'm going to get this done. And that's why I lost sleep, honestly. So that was a setback, but of course there was a plan B and it worked out. They were happy. I was happy. The end buyer was happy. And now there's a family in that house and they're happy. So
yeah. That's awesome.
Yep.
So guys that are watching this, I really want you to pay attention to that one statement. And it's the one that goes very loosely in today's world of real estate, which is I did what I said I was going to do. And that is a huge statement. Right. And that is something that resonates massively with me. And I hope resonates with you that are watching this or listening to this later on. If you have anything in this world, it's your word, right? So like stick to what you say you're going to do and do it. And if it means you don't make a dime, tough shit. You said you were going to do it. Like you messed up. So what? That's what you got to do. So that's a really good takeaway and a really good talk to what was a setback and why. All right, now let's go for the good one. What was your biggest success?
So recently in January, I closed on my first rental, which I know I didn't mention much about that in the beginning, but before the wholesaling, before the flipping, I had aspirations to just buy rentals, right?
Yep.
But I figured out with the capital I had on hand, bank financing, God, it would take me decades to get what I wanted. So I knew I needed to do it some other creative way. So in January, we closed on a deal, creative financing, owner financing, came into it with the capital that I had. Took out a little bit of money, personal loan that I needed to get the rehab done, got a renter in there. Was looking at about $1,400 for market rent and ended up renting it at $1,575. So came in above what I was even looking to clear. So all in all, a great experience. Some challenges in there too. I don't like managing contractors. I just don't like doing it. I just don't. I figured out that that's not what I enjoy doing.
So like that would be what I call a unique ability, and that you've realized that it's not your unique ability.
Yep. And somebody told me a long time ago also too, everybody always tells you to work on your weaknesses and work on your weaknesses. And I'm not saying don't do that, but sometimes it's more beneficial to work on your strengths, right? And to focus on your strengths and to find other people who can do your weaknesses. So moving forward, if there's flips in my future, I'm going to look for somebody else to help me manage that or manage that. It's not what I want to do.
Yep. I know that feeling. Been there, done it. I agree.
Yep.
All right. What is your favorite part? This is a really good parlay into that. Like, what is your favorite part of the business now that you've been into wholesaling, you kind of played the rehab-ish, turned into landlord game. What is now your favorite part of this business that you do day to day that you enjoy, that you get up and you're like, all right, let's go. What is it?
Yeah. So I like talking to sellers. I like talking to them on the phone. There's of course the numbers game where you got to get through 50 where it's not the greatest conversation. And then you have a conversation where the wall comes down, right? And you're actually talking and you're having experience and you're laughing with them and they're telling you about their kids and whatever. And they're joking, they're cutting up with you. That's the best part. And then the appointment, usually, the appointment follows on with that because usually you've built that rapport. I mean, I have an appointment today. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to meeting the guy, walking around, talking about the house, talking about what we talked about the phone, see if, see if the deal makes sense. That's the best part, is talking to the sellers and making that commitment that, yeah, I can get this done. And I know I can get it done because I've done my research and I have no worries. Let's do it.
Nice. So talking to sellers is the best part, favorite part of the business.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about what you're looking forward to with wholesaling out of the box in the next few months. And because you've been part of it, tell people that are listening or watching this later on, what is it that you're looking forward to that's going to grow and you're growing into with the group?
Yeah, so pretty simple because we're, who knows how long this interview is going to be out there. We're in COVID time right now, right? So Corona time. So I'm looking forward to the group getting back in person.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of virtual stuff and virtual is awesome. But I do miss meeting with the team every 2 weeks, finding out what's going on, you know what I mean? And talking and getting straight down into the business. So what I'd be excited about over the next couple of months is hopefully getting back in person, but also growing the group some more. The group has great accountability and small, tight-knit group, totally transparent. You know what I mean? You put the work in, you're going to get the results. And I enjoy when the guys and gals come in and they do that, they grind it out and they ask questions and I ask them questions because I always say I'm not the guy with all the answers for sure. You know what I'm saying? I learned so much from them. They learn so much from us. And that's really, really what I'm looking forward to moving forward, is growing that group, helping other people do deals and working together. Because one thing I've learned for sure in this business is, I think it's your net worth equals your network, right? That's a buzz phrase, right? But yeah, your network is key. And so all the relationships built in wholesaling out of the box usually go past the group for sure.
Awesome. So overall, you've been in this business for how long?
Just over 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many wholesale deals have you completed since then?
So that would be 9 wholesale deals, the one close on my house, right? And then under contract on 1 wholesale deal right now. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you were to give one massive recommendation to anybody that's new or somebody that's even experienced, what would your core action, here's my, like, if I had to start over from day one, here's what I would recommend you do this.
I'd go to a RIA, and I would survey the room, and I would find somebody, and it might take a couple times, right? It might take some time. I would find somebody that you, one, know is not full of bullshit because you see them actually doing deals, you know what I mean? And two, that you identify with, right? If your personalities just don't click with that other person, then that doesn't make much sense to me. And then I would go and I would pick their brain. I mean, they're at the RIA, they're going to come to the RIA, right? That's the time. Pick their brain, maybe, ask them if you can give them a phone call and pick their brain further, right? But then when they tell you certain steps, right, once they understand what you're looking to do, they tell you those steps, even if you don't think it's necessary, you just do it, right? Just do it, because if you've now vetted them and you know they're not full of crap, right? And you know that you can see yourself doing business with this person, they're telling you those steps for a reason. And if you keep ignoring them, they're going to lose interest and talk to somebody else. That's just human nature.
Nice. So if you meet somebody that's in the business, doing the business, and they give recommendations, go do it, take action, and then come back and try to do some more.
Yeah, you can't find it all on a podcast. It's, you know what I mean, or a YouTube video. You need to find somebody in the local community, because there's so many differences in every market. Like I said, my buddy, he's been doing this now for 3 or 4 years. He's about a year or so ahead of me. Super knowledgeable, doing super great. But he's like, man, I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth. Like, we can call and pick each other's brains in general, but the market's different. The network is different. You know what I mean? Everything's different. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Well, Cam, thanks so much for taking the time to be on here with us and share your experience with these guys. I'm sure it'll help somebody either listening or watching this later on, because I think that's one of the big things we see on this industry is, like, there's always a video like this somewhere talking about a guy that got the experience, got with somebody, did the deal, and it's like it just repeats itself, right? It's like it's like a broken record that just keeps turning, but yet it works, right?
Yeah.
Because people are actually taking action and doing something. So thanks so much for jumping on here, man. I'm really looking forward to continuing to work with you and watch you grow, get some more rentals under your portfolio, and just grow into this business. So thank you so much for taking the time to do this, man. I really appreciate it. Ashley, do you have anything else for us?
No, that's about it.
Cool. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us and listening to us today or watching us. If you're interested in anything to do with wholesaling, please reach out to us at wholesalingoutofthebox.com. If you're looking to do anything with us and you want just some content and some information and some videos to watch, check us out at Virginia Wholesale Real Estate on the Facebook page. It's the icon with the little blue flag, looks like the state flag in a hand. All right. So that's the group you need to be in. And that's the group that, very transparent, very real, and very willing to help. Right. And that Virginia group was set up so that we could do all this all over the state of Virginia. Right. So again, guys, thank you so much for spending your time here with us. We look forward to more of these, and we'll talk to you soon.